Ever wondered what it really takes to build a champion robot? Well, you're in the right place. We're about to pull back the curtain on the world of VEX Robotics. We're going to look at the 4 key ingredients that take you from just a box of parts to a competition winner. The game, the machine, the code, and of course, the strategy. So, let's start with this. Just think about it for a second. What if you had to invent a whole new sport? And a whole new athlete? Every single year? Because honestly, that's exactly the challenge that thousands of student teams all over the world face every season. They're handed a brand new game, and it's up to them to engineer, build, and program a completely new robotic athlete from the ground up. All right, so let's get into it. It all kicks off with the game itself. Every single year, a brand new challenge drops with totally unique goals and ways to score. And for the 2024-2025 season, that game is called High Stakes. So what's the deal with high stakes? The field is just loaded with 48 of these plastic rings. Your team's job is to get your colored rings onto 10 different stakes scattered around. Now, some of those stakes are attached to the wall, pretty straightforward. But the real fun, the real chaos, comes from these 5 mobile goals. Both teams can fight over them, drag them anywhere on the field. It gets intense.
And right when you think the match is winding down, the endgame throws this absolute beast at you. A 4-foot-tall ladder. Yeah, you heard that right. If your team can figure out how to get your robot to climb this thing, you are looking at a massive point bonus. It is the ultimate high-risk, high-reward move that can literally decide who wins and who loses. You know, every single match is really a test of 2 completely different skill sets. It all starts with a 15-second autonomous period. The drivers can't touch the controllers, the robot is completely on its own, running code that the students wrote beforehand. It's nerve-wracking. And then, bam, a frantic switch to driver control for the next minute and 45 seconds. That's when human skill, reflexes, and quick thinking with the controller take over.
In this is where the strategy gets really interesting. Teams can actually push one of those mobile goals into one of the 4 corners of the field. Now, 2 of those corners are your best friend. They double the points for every single ring on that goal. Awesome, right? But the other 2, they're traps. If you push a goal in there, not only are those rings worth 0, you actually lose points from your total score. It's a huge gamble that can absolutely win or lose you the match in a split second.
Okay, so you've got the game down. You know the rules. But how in the world do you actually build a machine to play it? Well, that's where the engineering magic happens. It's all about creativity. And trust me, a whole lot of trial and error.
You know, every great robot design starts with a single, clear goal. Just listen to this from Charlie, a student from Team 31218W, talking about his design for a past game. He said his goal wasn't just about scoring blocks. It was about creating a system that could actually take them back out of storage and reload them. That one idea, that's what drives the entire engineering process from start to finish.
In that whole process, it almost always starts right here, with a really rough prototype. This bootleg robot, as they call it, isn't supposed to be pretty. It doesn't have to be. Its one and only job is to test a core idea, in this case, a super simple conveyor and loader, just to see if the basic concept even works in the real world.
And then, from that simple, clunky test, the design starts to evolve. This right here is the Trialot, a way more complex and refined version of that same robot. See, it's got integrated systems for sorting different colored objects, a much more efficient way to score. This huge leap from a rough prototype to a polished performer, that is the absolute heart and soul of the design cycle. Now, while every competition robot ends up looking unique, they're pretty much all built from the same fundamental building blocks. You've got to have a drivetrain to move around. That's the legs. You need an intake to grab the game objects. Those are the hands. You need some kind of conveyor or sorter to manage those objects internally. And finally, you need an outtake to actually score them. That's the arm. Legs, hands, and arms. Every robot's got them.
So, you have the game, you have the machine, but right now it's just a pile of metal, motors, and plastic. It can't do anything on its own. To bring it to life, you have to give it a brain. And that's where the code comes in, turning this physical object into a smart, functioning competitor.
So how do you make sure your robot can even talk to the competition field? So it knows when to start and stop? Well, thankfully, you don't have to start from scratch. Programmers begin with something called the competition template. The best way to think of it is like a pre-built foundation for a house. It handles all the boring, basic communication, which lets the teams focus on the fun, creative part, telling their robot what it should actually do.
And this template is super neat because it's already split into 3 parts that perfectly match the flow of a competition. First, there's a setup section that runs just once at the very beginning to calibrate sensors and get everything ready. Then the autonomous code takes the wheel for that intense 15-second hands-off period. And finally, the driver control block kicks in, running over and over again in a loop to read what the driver is doing on the controller and turn it into robot action.
What's really cool is that VEX makes programming accessible for everyone, no matter your skill level. If you're just starting out, you can use VEXcode blocks. It's a visual drag-and-drop system that's awesome for learning the logic of programming without getting bogged down in typos and syntax. But for the more advanced students, there's VEXcode Text. That's a full-on C++ environment that gives you the maximum possible control and flexibility over your machine.
Okay, so you've built an amazing robot. Your code is flawless. You're ready to win, right? Not even close. At the highest levels of this competition, the final crucial piece of the puzzle is strategy. It's the secret sauce that turns a really good team into a world champion.
And if you want to understand just how critical strategy is, just look at this number, 229. That is a world record skills score from a middle school team. A score so ridiculously high that it actually beat the top high school score by 14 points. I mean, that is just an absolutely insane achievement. So how on earth did they do it?
So what was their secret? Well, an analyst who broke down their record-setting run found a really surprising answer. It wasn't about being the fastest robot on the field. Not at all. As he put it, doing something twice is always slower than just taking it slow the first time. Their secret weapon wasn't speed. It was pure, unfiltered efficiency.
So their winning formula really boiled down to these three things. First, precision over speed. They drove so accurately that they just didn't make mistakes. Second, flawless alignment. They took those extra milliseconds to make sure every pickup and every score was perfectly lined up. And third, zero wasted motion. Every single move the robot made had a purpose. It was just a masterclass in calm, methodical, perfect execution.
So when you put it all together, the game, the machine, the code, and the strategy, you start to realize it's about so much more than just a 2-minute robot match. It's really a crash course in how to solve impossible-looking problems. Yeah, the goal might be to score a bunch of rings on some stakes, but the real prize is learning how to innovate, how to work with a team, and how to build something amazing from nothing, one difficult step at a time.